Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Mark with My Front Range Living, and today we're talking about weekend getaways in Colorado, or for our purposes here in Colorado Springs, day trips to those weekend getaways outside of Colorado Springs. And being right here in the middle of the state, the Springs has got some unique opportunities because we're pretty close to a lot of amazing weekend getaways. So let's hop right in there. And before we do, it would mean a lot if you went down there. If you like today's content, hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you are moving to Colorado Springs, living in Colorado Springs, or you're just kind of wanting to know what's going on in Colorado Springs, hit that bell down there and subscribe to the channel. We're putting out content every single week to help you make Colorado Springs feel like home. So let's hop right in. Weekend getaways here in near Colorado Springs. So first and foremost, ESTES Park. So ESTES Park is fantastic, especially if you want to go late summer, early fall during the elk rut, because there are literally tons of elk just wandering around the greater ESTES Park area. If you are not able to go there when the elk are out, you're still going to want to hit that main drag in ESTES Park because it's a great spot for different shops, lots of great dining, rooftop patios that have incredible views, and you can also check out the Stanley, where, you know, that whole red rum thing and Jack Nicholson happened. You can check that out in ESTES Park. While you're in ESTES Park as well, you're going to be very, very close to Rocky Mountain National Park. Absolutely worth that drive. Rocky Mountain National Park is absolutely gorgeous, and it's worth the drive up, no question. Next up, Great Sand Dunes National Park. Now, Great Sand Dunes National Park, as you might expect, is a national park of sand dunes. Yeah, so what's so great about that? Well, at different parts of the year, especially the spring, you're going to be able to see rivers and different waters running through the sand dunes, and that's a lot of fun. It makes for great hiking, and you also have the opportunity to slide down those sand dunes and have a little bit of fun, but it's absolutely gorgeous. The surrounding and the backdrop for the Great Sand Dunes is not to be missed, and that's only just shy of 3 hours away from Colorado Springs. Now, 3 hours away from Colorado Springs, that's a great segue into Grand Lake. Grand Lake is a great little town, and as it implies, there's a lake there. There's actually a couple of lakes there. Grand Lake is a great spot to go if you just want to get away from it all and feel like you're miles and miles away from anything. It's just a smaller town, great little shops and mom and pop restaurants that you don't want to miss, and that lake that's out there, yeah, you can swim in that. There's a great sandy beach there, and you can go swimming in that lake. It's just a nice little getaway, especially during those summer months when you just want to feel away from it all and unwind a little bit. And another great part about Grand Lake is the fact that it's just on the other side of Rocky Mountain National Park. So you got ESTES Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, Grand Lake. So that's a great, I mean, you could make a couple weekend trip out of it if you wanted to, but definitely hit up Grand Lake. Next up, one of my personal favorites, and the debate rages on how I should say this, Buena Vista or Buena Vista. I think it depends on whether or not you're from Colorado. Anyway, Buena Vista. Buena Vista is one of our absolute favorite towns to go to. We love getting away to Buena Vista. Mount Princeton is right outside of Buena Vista, and it's where we love to go riding our side-by-sides on the trails out there to Tin Cup. But Buena Vista's got great shops, awesome restaurants. They've got that river running down there, and they'll actually have a festival down there if you hit the timing right. But it is a great little town, very, very close to lots of hiking, lots of trails, just a ton of stuff to do in Buena Vista. Twin Lakes is just outside of there, so a lot of great things going on in Buena/Buena Vista. I don't know that we'll ever solve that one. Next up, Glenwood Springs. That one's a little bit easier. Glenwood Springs, that's going to be about 3.5 hours west, north and west of Colorado Springs, and they're going to have a few hot springs there in Glenwood Springs. That's what Glenwood Springs is known for, a big hot spring there, and they also have several little ones, and so it's a great spot to check out the hot springs, but there's also great shops, there's great restaurants, awesome brewery out there, and they also have the Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. That's right. You can head on up in a gondola all the way to the top of Glenwood Springs, and they've got roller coasters. They've got all sorts of fun stuff that you can do right there in Glenwood Springs. That's a fun weekend getaway, but be prepared to pack it full because there's a lot to do while you're there. Next up is another springs, Steamboat Springs. Steamboat Springs is near and dear to my heart, specifically over the last few years. as my wife and I have grown to love that area. Steamboat Springs, it's a drive. It is a drive. It's 4 hours and it's basically smack dab center of nowhere, but man, even the drive up is absolutely gorgeous, especially coming up out of Silverthorne. And Steamboat Springs has got it all. They've got the hot springs there. They have a lot of shops, great rooftop patios, and they also have something similar to Glenwood Springs where you can take the gondola up to the top, and they have this little coaster that you can wind down on a little seated roller thing. I don't know what they call it, but that's a lot of fun. You could do that as well, but a ton of hiking, lots of kayaking, things to do. That river goes through. You can just walk that, biking if you so choose. A ton of outdoor stuff, great breweries in Steamboat as well. Make sure that you check it out. Well worth the drive. And then last but definitely not least is some of the My Front Range Living team's favorite area, and that is Fort Collins. Yeah, our families go up to Fort Collins on a pretty regular basis together. It's just a lot of fun to go up there. It's a nice little college town. Colorado State is up there, but Fort Collins is, it's just got a nice little vibe to it. It's really, really cool. It's fun to walk. It's fun to stroll through there. And more importantly, a lot of hiking trails in and around the Fort Collins area, to include Horsetooth. And again, that's heavily debated. I believe someone else called it, and it doesn't matter what they called it, but Horsetooth Reservoir is up there right by Fort Collins, and that's a lot of fun to walk, bike, and fish in if you so choose. So lots of hiking and just kind of strolling, easy feeling, easy going Fort Collins. We love it up there. Hey, as always, thanks so much for stopping by. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.